everyone. I am currently in the middle of holiday madness. I'm sure you can relate. I'm feeling overstimulated. I'm in the middle of my Black Friday roundup. I have a bunch of holiday campaigns going on and trip plans to make, and my brain is functioning at 65% capacity like max because I'm 22 weeks pregnant. So I was just like, I just need to sit down, do some makeup, catch up, and kind of give myself a mental break from all of these tasks that are floating around in my head. I'm sure you can understand. I'm dehydrated. I need lip balm. This is the new Violette one, their lip treatment. It's really nice, just like a thick, nourishing balm. And yeah, I have a bunch of new makeup to try. So I have some new releases like the Huda Beauty blush palettes. I have Make Beauty lip liners. I have the new Half Magic eyeshadows I've been wanting to try. Just a bunch of things that have been piling up, as well as some things that are just like new to me, like viral but new to me, like the Dior foundation stick. So let's just get into it. If you're also overstimulated, this video is for you. So maybe you can also take a moment to relax and we can just get ready together. I am thinking I might try to do like a holiday sort of look. This is the Purcell 24/7 Colostrum Pore Defense Ampule with Pixel Biome. It's a face mist. It's like a face mist that's meant to help minimize the appearance of pores. They also say you can use it like a setting spray. I did my skincare a couple hours ago, so I've still got some shine, but I just want a little bit of extra hydration. I am gonna cover up these earrings. This pink packaging is limited edition. I think it's really cute. Feels really nice. I do like the mister. I do feel like there are some good ingredients in here. Like there are peptides, there's lactobacillus, there's different lipids, there's hyaluronic acid. So it's just like a slightly elevated hydrating mist. While this is drying down, I just have to show you, I got the most ridiculous package from Dior Beauty. Let me show you the box. This box has so much stuff in it and I am so grateful. A lot of it actually was new to me. It's a lot of their backstage collection, which I love. I've already filmed with it, so I do have a short that's like a full face of Dior Beauty. But I finally got to try the Dior Forever Skin Stick Foundation. I'm really loving it. So I think this will make a nice hydrated base for that. They also sent me a couple of their setting powders. There's a matte version as well as a radiant version, and they're slightly tinted. Well, this one is. There's also a translucent version. These are also really chic. It has their like quilted Dior packaging. Stunning. This is their radiant setting powder, which I think is really nice for dry skin. They sent over a bunch of their Forever Blush Soft Filters, which are stunning. I don't think I'm going to use them today because I'm using the Huda blush palettes. Those are new. They sent over 4 of their Backstage Glow palettes, which are just ridiculous. So if you do want to see like a specific review on any of these, let me know. I also got their Forever Skin Glow foundation as well as some lip maximizers. So there's just a lot happening, but I think I'm going to use the powders and the stick foundation today. I'm just going to add a little bit of brow gel before I go into the stick foundation. This is the Lawless Creamy Brow Wax, which I really hope is not getting discontinued. I haven't seen the medium shade on Sephora. It's been out of stock. So fingers crossed for that because I do really love it. Let's get into the foundation. If you haven't seen the packaging of the Dior stick foundation, it is of course stunning. I have the shade 2N. Someone at Dior sent me this shade, matched it for me, and it is a beautiful shade match. If you followed along for a while, you will know that I think stick foundations are very tricky to formulate. I think they're really tough to get right texturally. Sometimes they're too balmy, too greasy, or they just don't spread well enough. And this earns every bit of its virality, in my opinion. Like, look how good this shade matches. I find that it works best with a dense brush and over a slightly hydrated base, but it's just so creamy. It's so creamy. It blends out like a dream and it looks very, very skin-like. You can apply a sheer layer if you just want it to give you light coverage, but it's also really buildable. It does have the Dior scent. All Dior makeup does, but it's so beautiful. It has a luminosity to it. It wears beautifully throughout the day. I honestly get why so many different people with different skin types and people who are different ages love this. is easy to use. It's very fail proof and you can just sort of swipe it on and build it up wherever you want. And it's just so beautiful. So this is one light layer of the foundation here. And then this is no foundation. You can see it blurs over pores, it covers over redness, and I've been reaching for it nonstop since I got it. The only other stick foundation I've ever like consistently really loved is the Merit Minimalist, as you guys know, but that one has light coverage. It's maybe buildable to a medium, but this definitely has more coverage on first application. You can sheer it out, but it has more impact. I feel like they're a good complement to each other. Like Merit is for a more natural day to me, whereas the Dior to me is a higher coverage thing. Still looks beautiful and skin-like, but it does give you just more coverage. So that's one layer done. I don't have a concealer to try today, but I'm actually going to just build up coverage under the eye using my BK Beauty A506. I honestly don't do really bright under eye concealer, so I do like just having a shade match of a foundation stick like this because it's creamy and it actually does look really good around the eyes as well. And I don't go for like really intense under eye concealer personally, especially in my 30s. I don't think it looks good on me. And I also don't love the look just in general. So I'm just patting it on. And if you pat it on, you're going to get more coverage. So the base is done. I'm going to go into cheeks and I'm actually going to do a little bit of sculpting today. I have a new Westman Atelier contour in the shade Biscuit, which is their lightest shade. I usually use Truffle, but I am so pale right now, paler than I've ever been. I actually got a little Westman Atelier trio where you get like a blush, a contour stick, and a highlighter stick. And I don't think I'm gonna get to use this today, but I did recently test the new shade of their Garçon Lit Up highlight stick. I thought I was getting their blush stick, but this is actually almost just as good, I think. It has this translucency of their lit up highlight stick, and I have been using it as a blush. It's so stunning, and I just wanted to show you because this like brownie mauve shade is just so pretty. It kind of matches my sweater. Not gonna get around to it today, but I did want to mention the trio because obviously these are pricey, but when you buy the trio together, you do get a discount. They have like a little set that you can create, which is a nice option for the holidays. But because I'm gonna go into the Huda Beauty blushes, they did come in this really cute PR mailer, the blush palettes, and those are powder. I'm gonna do the creams first. I'll just show you these real quick. They're just so cute. They're actually super weighty and they have this like gorgeous silver palette. And look at that. This is the baby pink blush filter palette. They are super bright and stunning, and this whole thing feels a lot heftier and like more substantial than I was expecting. This one is the Roseberry palette, which this is a me palette. I mean, look at these beautiful, like I love this nudie shade, but I love the pops of different depths of pink. So because we're gonna go into those, I'm going to do the cream products first. I have been just going into Biscuit, working on my Best of Beauty 2026 content already. I am kind of compiling that list right now. This brush has to be on there. It's the BK Beauty HG 109. I think it's HG means Holy Grail. It was like in a set, but they do have the 109 brush. It just applies cream products so beautifully. It's probably my most used product or most used brush of the year. I'm just gonna keep this really subtle. I don't need like a super dramatic sculpted look. But I do love how this isn't like a super cool toned contour. I would say it's more of a neutral contour, but it just works so nicely when I am a little bit more fair. Again, not new, just an old formula that I love in a new shade. Because I am going to go into a powder blush, I actually am going to set my cheeks a little bit, which I don't usually do, but this is the Dior Forever Nude Matte Filter in shade 001. This is their matte pressed setting powder, and I've used it a couple times. It is so smooth and blurring. It's a little bit tinted, but it's not overly tinted. Like, you're not really going to get a ton of color from it, but I feel like it just adds to the sort of blurring, smoothing quality that this powder gives you. So I'm not going for anything too dramatic. I just want a little bit of powder down so that the powder blush doesn't cling to any patches. And the brush I'm using is the Sonia G Mini Cheek brush. I hope they still make this. It is such a nice setting brush. Okay, I'm back. You can see I brought some of that shine down. Also, I'm sorry, it's partly cloudy today, so the sun's going in and out, so the lighting might be a little bit inconsistent. But here are the blush palettes side by side. I just want to show you like a sense of how they compare next to each other and the kinds of shades that are in both. This is definitely your cool tone sort of pops of color. This is a little bit more earthy, a little bit more brown. I think I'm gonna go in with this one today, the Roseberry. And this is called the Blush Filter Palette Blurring Blushlighters. So I only see like metallic in this one, but I'm curious about if we'll get more of like a highlighter effect if we apply on the cheek. So I'm actually gonna start with, I know, the nude blush, not the most exciting. I have a Rephr 04 here. I just wanna get a sense of like what it's like to lay down these powders, and then we'll build pigment. So I'm just going to kind of create a blush base. This does seem to be pretty firmly packed. It's not picking up like a ton of powder as I'm dipping into the pan, which I like. That's definitely my preference. This is a really nice, like everyday kind of blush shade for me. I love a beigey rose blush. They're not always the most exciting, but they are probably the most functional in my blush wardrobe. So here's no blush, and then there's that earthy rose blush. The shade is called Pink Velvet. And this one is a matte shade. Like I'm not getting any glow, any pearl coming through as I'm applying it. It's just a really nice, soft, velvety, smooth blush. We're gonna take it up a notch. I'm gonna go into Strawberry Cream, which is definitely brighter, a little bit punchier, and just add that to the apple of the cheek. I totally forgot to do my other cheek, so we're gonna even things out. And I'm gonna take some across the bridge of the nose too, just because I feel like that's a cute shade for nose blush. I don't always like nose blush, but it has to be the right kind of shade, and something with a little bit of earthiness in it I feel like looks cute, especially like in the winter. And then I am gonna go into the highlighter shade, the Berry Fizz. This one. It's interesting, it looks like it has like a pink duochrome in it. I'm actually gonna take my Rephr 19, which is a much more loosely packed brush, and I'm going to just dip into it slightly and kind of, ooh, whoa, pink highlight. Definitely. It has a pink duochrome. I'm gonna sweep it across the cheeks very, very lightly. I don't want it to be like too highlightery. Again, the name Blushlight sort of implies that it goes all over the cheek. That's really fun. It definitely has a duochrome element, but if you shear it out and you use a brush like this, I feel like it doesn't look like a stripe on your cheek. You can actually kind of get them all to sort of melt together on the face. And I think you can see that duochrome effect when I move my cheek. Hopefully right there you do get like that pink highlighter effect. Really cute. I like it, and I do think it's very fun. It's, again, not something that I would reach for all the time, but I feel like for the season it's great, and I would actually reach for the other blushes all the time. I am gonna dip into this deepest one called Bronzeberry, and I'm just going to apply it on the back of my cheek just to sort of marry the blush and the contour. I feel like you can get a lot of different kinds of blush looks out of this too. If you just use one of the shades or mix and match, you're gonna get a lot of versatility out of this. And I actually am just going to tap the excess into my temples just so everything comes together. Next up is something I'm very excited about. Half Magic Beauty has released new shades of their single eyeshadows. If you've been around for a while, you'll know I love this formula. It's very special, it's very twinkly. There's a duochrome shift to these, and they released 3 neutral shades. I know people love Blushing Lizard. It's like their bluey purple one that's gone viral. I actually find that my favorite shade in the existing range is Wet Pebble. It's in my favorite like one and done eyeshadows, and it's just so stunning. So I'm excited to have more neutrals for a neutral lover like me. This one is Possessed Pearl. You can see that beautiful silvery shift. This one is called Sparkle Puff, a little bit more of a light silver. And this one is called Tickle Spell, which is like a cool toned gold. They do come in this packaging. They do try to be very eco-conscious, which I appreciate. Let me swatch these for you. They are so creamy to touch. They almost feel like a cream eyeshadow. Oh my God, look at that. Sparkle Puff. Ugh, I can't wait to get this on my eyes. It almost has, oh, let's see. Ooh, So, oh my gosh, look at that. Has that like pearly, almost like blue shift. So, so stunning. Oh my God, that across the eyes is all I need. It also actually kind of looks pink in certain lights as well. Kind of just depends. These are like a shifty multi-chrome kind of formula. Let's go into Possessed Pearl. Love the name of this. Here is Possessed Pearl. And this one is a little bit warmer. It has almost like a champagne shift to it. It's really hard to capture these. Possessed Pearl actually has like a taupey undertone. And then the first one, Powder Puff, has like a pinky blue. So the more you layer them, the more you see the different shades in there. And then I'm gonna go into Tickle Spell, which is that goldy shade. So pretty. That is a really stunning gold. It's the kind of gold I reach for if I do reach for gold these days. I don't like a super yellow undertone, but all of these, you can see how creamy and shifty and smooth they are. They really do glide over the skin and they are an absolute joy to use. So I'm going to lay down just like a neutral base on the eyes. If you do like a deeper one and done, I would recommend checking out Wet Pebble just because it's so stunning and it has this like chocolatey base with a taupe shift. I'm just gonna go into my Makeup by Mario Cool Mattes or Neutral Mattes palette, and I'm really just going to take a couple of shades like this one and this one just to sculpt the eye a little bit. And I'm using my What's Up Beauty brush. This is R104. I'm not even doing anything really dramatic. I just want to lay down a little bit of something. I feel like these Half Magic shades are also the kinds of shades that look really beautiful when layered over a deeper shadow. They become a lot more dynamic and multi-dimensional. I probably won't do that today, but you could. And just kind of bringing it on the outer third of my lower lash line. I know this palette is probably the most boring palette you could get, but it really is my workhorse. Like if I'm using a single one and done shadow and I just want to lay something down, it's just so good for that. And mine is like, well, I don't know if you can tell, but it's really beat up because it's gotten so much use for me. It probably will also be in my Best of Beauty. I think it was in my Best of Beauty last year. But yeah, you can see I'm not doing anything like super defined, just bringing a little bit of like shape to the eye. I think I have to go into Possessed Pearl. This kind of shade is like everything I want these days. So I actually find that these are best applied with fingers just to get the maximum payoff. And I'm really just gonna smudge it everywhere. Again, these behave like a cream shadow. They are so creamy and they kind of feel wet to touch and they have the spreadability and blendability of a cream. And just like, look how pretty that is. The more I'm building it up, the more I'm seeing like a bluey silver base. And for the holidays, I just love like a touch of silver going across the lash line. I think it's so pretty. It's like a nice way to wear metallic without it feeling too intense, but you can just see how that catches the eye. It's so cool because sometimes it looks taupe, sometimes it looks like almost turquoise silver, like a bluey silver. And this doesn't require precision. I'm really just like blending it into that powder eyeshadow that I laid down. I hope this comes through on camera just because it's so stunning in person. It's glossy. It almost looks like a wet looking shine. I'm gonna go into Sparkle Puff and I am going to just brighten up my inner corner. I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 210. Just to add a little bit of light, the inner tear duct. Ooh, it's so pretty. It's icy. It definitely has that like icy baby blue effect. These two shades together are absolutely stunning. I'm just gonna like melt it into the first shade, Possessed Pearl. Gonna bring it into the bottom tear duct too, just right there. Would totally wear this to like a holiday, New Year's party. I am feeling like I need a little depth in the outer corner. So I'm gonna go into this shade, this like steel gray shade. I actually rarely use this shade in this palette, but I feel like it's made for this look. Just gonna deepen the outer corner a little bit. And this is the Rephr 14, by the way. Great little brush for deepening the outer corner like this. And even that kind of changes the way the sparkly eyeshadow looks and it makes it look a lot more dimensional. Okay, Okay, I'm feeling a little bit like the cheek and the eye look kind of clash. It's a little bit warm toned and then cool toned. I'm gonna see if I can fix that after we apply eyeliner and mascara and just see how we can bring everything together. I'm gonna do a little smoky wing. So I'm gonna take the BK Beauty 208, the teeniest, tiniest brush of all time, but amazing for if you have smaller eyes. I'm just gonna take a mix of the deeper shadows and just sort of like tight line across my lash line. Okay, so since I'm putting together my gift guides, I always like to think about what is the best gift I've received this year, or what are the best gifts I've ever received, and what are my favorite gifts I've ever given. And I would like to know from you guys, what is the best gift you've ever received? Not just holiday, but like birthday gift or anything. What's the best gift you've ever received? I feel like it's a lot of times I'm just kind of sculpting out the shape for my eyeliner before I go into actual eyeliner. But yeah, I'm always curious, like if people like practical gifts, if you're someone that likes things that are like very functional in your everyday life, if you're someone that likes experiences. I really like experiences because I like quality time. Are you someone that likes a gift card? I don't think there's anything wrong with a gift card. I love receiving gift cards because I can be a little bit picky about things that I like. But yeah, let me know in the comments because I'm always nosy and just curious what people like and what people like to give and also what people like to receive. Going into Makeup by Mario, the Perfect Brown eyeliner. What's this called? Master Pigment Pro Pencil. And just sketching over that area that I outlined. Lately, if I am gonna do a winged liner, I like to kind of do a more straight out wing rather than a lifted wing. I feel like it just suits my eye shape better. And then I'm gonna do mascara off camera just because it always takes me forever. I'm still using and loving my Heroine Make mascara, their Long Up super waterproof version. Okay, mascara's on. I did a little brow with the Glossier brow arch, and I had an idea while I was doing my mascara that I might cool down the look a little bit using this pink shade. The shade is called Cotton Candy. I don't know if this is gonna look good or not, but I feel like it might cool down the look a little bit so it's not so like cool warm, you know what I mean? I do feel like all of these blushes are very buildable and I do feel like they play really well with each other. Okay, I don't know if that's doing what I want it to, but we're just going to pretend it all goes together. So to finish off the lips, I'm thinking we need like a beigey lip, a very neutral toned lip. Make Beauty recently released lip liners. My cats chewed on the box. And they have such good tones. They are called the Continuum Lip Liner, and you can see there are light to deep shades as well as warm and some really cool toned shades. Let me swatch these for you real quick. Okay, this is a gel lip liner, and you can tell because they're not quite as matte as like a pencil lip liner. So starting on this side, I have Atmospheric, a neutral nude, Equilibrium, a rosy nude, Euphoric, a deep rosy nude, Elemental, a warm caramel nude, Pulse, which is a pale pink, Momentum, which is a burgundy brown. This one is the one I'm most excited about, Slate, which is a grayish taupe, like a true cool tone. And same with this one, Quantum, which is a dark brown. So I'm gonna go into Slate, which is that grayish taupe. And I'm really excited about this because there are not a lot of true cool toned lip liners out there, especially like a gray cool toned. I feel like Endless Cacao is sort of in that vein, but this looks almost maybe even more cool toned. And this is what it looks like, by the way. It has a twist up feature, same as their eyeliners. And then you get a little brush on the end here. So let's see. By the way, these Huda palettes come with a huge mirror, which is kind of nice. Yep, that's exactly the cool toned lip liner I've been on the hunt for. There is a really nice creaminess to this. Oh, there's actually a sharpener. This whole thing pulls out. So there's a sharpener here and a brush there. Didn't realize that. That's nice. I was gonna say, I feel like this lip brush is actually a really nice shape for creating a more blurred lip line. And Make Beauty's Black Friday sale is coming up. I do have a code if you're watching this like not during Black Friday season, Becca 15, but they usually do a pretty good Black Friday sale. Ooh, just what I wanted, just what the doctor ordered. Also, I thought these would be a little bit shinier on the lips, but once you kind of apply them and they set down, they have like a creaminess when you apply, but then they set down to a matte finish, which is nice because I didn't want like a glossy lip liner. Okay, I just had an idea. I feel like what this look needs is a sort of bronzer powder moment that brings everything together. I have the Hourglass Dior palette. They sent this over. It's absolutely stunning. I actually haven't had a new ambient light palette in a long time, and I used to love these and collect them. So I'm actually going to use the same brush that I used in my blush and then go into, sorry, I'm out of breath. I just went downstairs to get this. The bronzer in Diffused Bronze Light, and I'm going to just kind of use this to melt in the bronzer, the blush, and the eyes, like right here. And I feel like that always kind of does the trick of bringing everything together. And the key is you want a very like neutral bronzer like this one, because I love the transparency of these and it just kind of melts everything together, especially when you're using the same brush. I'm even gonna take some on my eyeshadow brush and just kind of melt everything together like right here. It's a very subtle thing, but it's just one of those things that brings cohesion to the face, in my opinion, and I can tell in person too. I feel like there are so many ways to use Hourglass powders, especially their kind of, what are they called? Their finishing powders. And this is one of those ways to just kind of bring everything together. And then for the lip, I'm gonna go old school. We're gonna go into Victoria Beckham Beauty Girl, which is one of their Posh lipsticks that came out with their original line. I actually just repurchased it because I have used up my other one so much and I actually can't find it. It was almost empty anyway, but this is the perfect like beige lipstick. Looks like that. And I feel like that's what this lip look needs. Also, like, isn't this just so 90s MAC? I love how truly cool toned it is. It's so hard to find shades like that these days. So I'm just going to apply this. It's a sheer lipstick. It has like a gel formula and perfect pairing. There's like a milkiness to it, and I'm just gonna apply it at the center of the lip. Like that. I feel like it suits that gray undertone so well. And then something about that neutralness kind of ties everything together. Okay, I changed my mind. I pressed my lips together and it went a little bit too brown. So I'm gonna go into the shade Twist, which has a slightly more pink undertone, just to tie the cheek in a little bit better. Let's do a healthy dose of setting spray. By the way, I did order the Danessa Myricks setting spray in the Sephora sale. It's actually the only thing I ordered, and it's on its way to me, so I am gonna be testing that. Okay, so that is the finished look. I feel like it came together in the end. It took a little bit of time to kind of mesh the eye and the cheek, but I would totally wear this to a holiday party, a New Year's Eve party, anything wintry, any sort of like wintry date night sort of look. Just to go over everything real quick. The Dior foundation stick, immediate hit. I can really tell with a foundation pretty quickly if I'm going to love it or not, and I absolutely love it. Will not be putting it down anytime soon. The Dior powders as well. I didn't get to show you the Radiant one, but if you have dry skin, it's kind of a nice powder that sets, but it doesn't mattify, so it's great for that. In my mind, these are not a need, but they're a nice to have. And then the Westman Atelier products, these are not new, so obviously you guys know I really love these and they've stood the test of time in my collection. And the Huda blush palettes, these are so fun. I wish there were like a more nudie toned shade, but I do think these color stories are just so fun. If I had to pick one, this would be the one I would pick. Despite them being very, very bold in the palette, I actually think on the cheek they sheer out nicely, but of course you can totally build up the pigment if you want to. The Half Magic eyeshadows to me are like the star of the show. These are gonna get a ton of mileage from me. Even though I went for a much more glam look today, I feel like it's the kind of shades that you can really sheer out for a daytime look. You can make them more wearable, and they also can be built up for a really fun kind of look, but they're neutrals. So I love that. All of the shades in the range so far, there's a lot of bolds, there's a lot of colorful duochromes, so I'm happy to see more neutral duochromes in this range, and I think they're absolutely stunning. And then these lip liners I'm so excited about. I'm so excited about this shade. If you are a cool toned lover and you feel like everything goes warm or orange on your lips, definitely check out this shade. It's called Slate, and it's giving 90s MAC energy. The Victoria Beckham lipsticks are not new, but they are a product that has longevity in my routine. Oh, and the setting spray, or the hydrating spray. This is really cute. I feel like it's like a cute stocking stuffer. The packaging is adorable. Like, it just makes you want to use it and carry it around. And it's a nice hydrating mist. I really like the fine mister component in this. So I think that is everything. I know we covered a lot of ground here. If you were also feeling overwhelmed, overstimulated by the holidays, just know you're not alone. I do have holiday content coming. The Black Friday sales roundup, my gift guide, all of that stuff will be coming here on Substack, on Instagram, on TikTok. So do keep an eye out on that. So I will see you in the next one. I hope you're taking care of yourselves as we're going into this very, very busy season, and I'll see you soon. Bye.